Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 21, I almost said 1, of the Sega Council Season 2. And tonight, we do have the wonderful, the man, the myth, the legend that is TSM back in the ranks tonight. So,
yay!
Yeah,
You made that title up, by the way. I don't live up to the title. I don't feel myself, okay? And,
hang on a minute. A year ago, you told me I had to call you that or you weren't coming on the show.
Is that it? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
No, it's great to have you back, Mark. I know you've been away for 2 weeks. You've been busy with work and stuff, but it's lovely to see you back in the ranks. So welcome back. So tonight we've got a fair bit to talk about. Not as many slides as we normally have, but we have had a fairly decent update today. We had a couple of TLCs, so we're going to crunch into them. So without further ado, take it away, TSM.
Okay. So here we are then, as it says then, TFC Season 2, Episode 21. Okay then, 23rd of May, 2017. So what do we have in tonight's slide pack? Let's have a quick look. So there we go. Like I said, there's only a few slides tonight, but it will give us time to pause on a couple of them and talk about some of the stats and obviously some of the plans that we've got as an admin team to assist people on their forward planning. So we've got the Plunder TLC that came out and that started today. A couple of us have been through it, or part of it anyway, at least, and so it's definitely doable, but it just needs a bit of thought. And there is definitely a glitch in one of the runs as well. Bit of admin chat going on in the background. Thanks, guys. Okay, Homeland TLC is being rerun. That's the modernized and updated version of it. Okay, and bear in mind there's a little bit of bug fixes and tuning, but not a huge amount. So, ooh, that's colourful, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, Plunder TLC, as it says there. First of all, as ever, it's Outpost 9 to participate. If you get all the way through it and you get to the last round, basically you can get that gay badge that's over on the right hand side. Okay, and some people like the badges, some people don't. But it's interesting.
I thought it was quite a cool badge.
They're just so much now. We're up to like what 60 badges now, so you know, it's anyway, not to worry. So what does it say there? So yeah, obviously it's got two types of targets. Obviously you've got bases to hit, which are NPC ones and that sort of stuff, and obviously then there are some Reaver targets to hit first off. They're quite reasonable, I think, to be honest, and I think if you've got Tide Seekers, then you'll do fine, no problem at all. I don't think you need a fleet at 5. At 3 seem to be working quite nicely. Run through 1, as it says there, there's 5 encounters. You've got 6 hours to do that one there. And you get obviously the new turret special, which we'll look at that in a moment. And you get basically structure build tokens as well, 2 times 24. Run through 2, obviously it goes up by 1 encounter. I'm not sure the timeline, it didn't actually state it on the notes, so I'm not seeing anybody actually run the second run themselves yet. So I put question mark on the hours. It normally drops to half of that, doesn't it? But so I'm guessing it'd be around that sort of 2.5 to 3 hour point. Then obviously that's the new turret as well, basically. And then obviously you can get some VXP. They always tempt you to progress further in these TLCs. So there you go. They're giving you 20K's worth times 3 of the VXP tokens, and another stack of structure tokens as well. So 4 times 48 hours there. And if you do survive that, and you want to get through, obviously, to the 3rd run, which is what everybody really wants to do, because that's when you get the new hull. It's a limited hull, which means it's not a flag. You know, you can have 5 of them, but it means you've got to do that run 5 times if you wish to get them all. So that's down to you.
Yeah, just a word of caution is we got a lot. I mean, people who did the TLC last week again got a lot of tokens, a lot of structured tokens, right? 12 days, 2 days, 12 hours. I mean, there were a whole bunch of them. Just be careful before you do this one that you're not already at limit. I think especially on run number 2. You get the 2-day structure token, and I think they limit it down to 2 or some low number. I gotta double check, but you get 4. So I don't know if the limit's 5 or something like that. And if you have 2 from last week, you may overrun and not get all the tokens. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean that screenshot I showed you, Ren. I'm maxed out on all my tokens. I can't collect anything at all now. So, and I've got nothing left to build in my base either. So I'm just going to have to just run over them, ignore them, to be honest, which is what I've had to do in the last couple of FMs as well.
Yeah, well, the good thing about run 1, I just finished run 1, and the video is uploading right now, actually. Right. Those 2 one-day tokens you get are just enough to replace DU shells 3 on the turret with the new special. Each substitution takes nearly 24 hours for me with officer. So you can actually replace 2 turrets instantly. That's what I did with the 2 tokens.
That's good to know. Because Stu was just talking about that a second ago before we went on live. But we'll cover that in depth, I think, because there's quite a bit of mechanics here. We can look at current turrets and obviously the new turret as well. But yeah, but definitely on the turret, the tokens, that's a really good point to bring up there. So yeah, so I'm guessing that probably run 3 is probably going to take an hour. That's what you normally get. It may be a bit longer, but we'll have to wait and see until somebody actually comes up with a video or gives us a heads up onto the exact timelines for that then. Like I said, the whole there, if you want it 5 times, yeah, to go through all 5 times, then you get the obviously the participation badge there as well. So you get 6 days worth of build tokens. Has anybody actually looked at the flat rate build time of this thing? I haven't actually gone into my base and just checked. If someone could do that, and have a look at what a flat rate one is.
Well, let me check it. It keeps coming up saying need level 1 intelligence lab until I win it.
Oh really? Oh, that'll
it always does that to me.
Right?
No, I can check the special, but I can't check the turret
until you've won it. So yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah, no, the turret special is 24. It's like I said, 23 hours to replace. I think you're asking about the ship, the survivor, right?
Yeah, the ship. Yeah, I'm just wondering if they haven't got that far, but probably not yet, to be honest. So.
That's the naked build time for it.
Oh, I might be able to check that. Hang on.
Well, someone says 2 days, 8 hours on the chat there, so XL Irish has got that up. So if that's good, that means at least you can get an engine on it and get it out on the ground and that sort of stuff, you know. Well, we'll talk about why I'm thinking just get an engine on it, get on the ground in a minute, because it's got a really good built-in capability, which we'll talk about when we get to the hull itself. So that's that slide basically done, I think, to be honest. So just bear in mind that clearly, mostly it's Reaver targets to start with, then it goes on to some basics, the NPC bases.
I almost felt like we might have seen a weapon come out as well, you know, like a new weapon to go with the hull, but I don't know if maybe that's...
They're being consistent, right? None of the rivals get a new weapon or new special. It's just the hull. I mean, the Liberator was just the hull. The Oppressor was just the hull. And this is part of the rival series, so it's also just the hull. Don't expect a weapon or special for it.
Yeah, I guess.
But Lorena's just said in chat, he's confirmed that, yeah, XLR has had the right timelines. It is definitely 2 days and 8 hours for the flat build.
Sweet.
So
if only we could free up the shipyard.
Yeah, exactly. We'll probably manage it, I'm sure. Right, okay, so this is run 1. This is your main prize then, obviously. So this is the new Recoil suppressor. Interesting stats, okay. Yes, it's a turret special, and you're thinking, well, what's so good about this? Stu, what's the first thing you notice about the weight?
Less power consumed.
Yeah,
slightly
considerably
more ballistic
less
damage. Like, even if you have a depleted uranium at R15, you still get 3% more ballistic damage. Plus 30% reload as well, so increased DPS.
That's amazing.
I think it's a brilliant special, and it'll go on a lot of things.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so turret weight, you can obviously change this one over, and then you can probably put some armor on some of your turrets if you choose to do so, which will obviously help you against obviously some of the new tech that's coming in at the moment. And like I said, you know, ballistic damage 65, it's reasonable, and definitely the reload that we like. So
yeah. The main gain is not on the damage, just like Stu says, just 3% more than DOS 3 at R15. But it's a lot lighter, and then you get the reload, which is great.
Yeah, which obviously you need to. So when we move on slide-wise, then obviously this is the new turret. Go on, Liam, have a go at that name.
Bugger off.
Right. You gotta try it, dude. You gotta try it.
He was browsing Russian brides, man. You just interrupted him.
It's all right, Liam.
Emancipator. Emancipator.
I'll take this one. I'll take it for the team. Emancipator. No.
Yeah.
No, fuck it. I'm done.
Yeah, Emancipator.
Why can't Kickside just simplify the names of things?
Can't we just call it E-turret?
The E-turret, yeah.
The E-turret, yeah. That would
The
do.
shooting
Or
one.
E-man.
Anyway, okay, so there we go then. It always just makes me smile, that's all. Sorry, mate. Sorry to put you on the spot there. No, I'm not, actually.
No, don't
That's what you get for Facebook. That's what you get for photoshopping my doc anyway, you arsehole.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good... Now that you brought that up, and we do have a bit of time this evening, What did you think when you seen your dog?
I logged straight in on my mobile phone. I went mental. I went, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
What did you expect when you seen? Because I planned it out with Andrew, and there was a big build-up with a present on the screen.
I saw the present, mate. I mean, that's just it. I managed to capture that bit of thing when you mentioned about, have you seen the show yet? I went, oh, what's happened? So I zoomed forward to it and I went, what's going on? So I stopped the show instantly and then went straight to log on to my base.
Well, it was just a bit of fun, you know.
Evidently, oh, yes. Okay, no, we like banter. It's good. So the Emancipator turret. Okay, as you can see, then yeah, it's a ballistic turret. What's nice about this turret here is the range. The range of 175. So there we go. There's a turret that's semi sort of in the middle of your for your island and that sort of stuff. And obviously, it's not going to reach obviously the same sort of distance with the specials that you do with like the executioners, etc., and the Deadeyes, but it'll definitely get
even
to
the ballista, right? I mean,
all the ballista, yeah.
Between a ballista and a javelin.
What's the range boost on the transformer? Is it a transformer that boosts range, or am I talking?
No,
Only 10 points. It would move up to 185. No big deal.
Yeah,
yeah, it's not a huge amount.
Flat 10.
Sorry.
Yeah, what I like is the damage. I mean, 35,000, even if you divide by 5, without any transform, any special, anything, it's 7,000 damage per shell.
Yeah, so I'm sure Brian in the background is going to do a bit of maths once he's got the transformer on, then the special, and then give us a bit of a compute on that. I don't know if you can stack specials, obviously, if there's another special that will go with this special to give you even more ballistic damage, but it can get some really funky numbers. I mentioned to Ren yesterday when we sort of heard this was coming in that I got a funny feeling that the ballistic plate might get an upgrade, because at the moment, like the pen plate did, it got 3 extra plates, and I'm just wondering if those that haven't done their retrofits for their ballistic, they might consider doing that now. I'm not saying you must, because I don't have the answer. I'm just guessing that, you know, now that we've got a monster turret in there that's ballistic, we don't really have a lot of ships that can survive all the other turrets and get through.
I mean, as is, this turret single-handedly takes every tier 5 conqueror out of the game except the Spite.
The Spite,
and it takes the Liberator out of the game.
Can I ask you a question? What would you...
I mean, unless you move real fast, because the turret doesn't have... I don't think it tracks you, does it?
No, this is like a railgun.
I don't know if it tracks you or not. So speed.
Well, this is a railgun, isn't it? It only shoots every 12 seconds, even with that special on. You know, so it's... You
can reduce that if you're stacking it in auras, though. You know.
Yeah. You can do some bits and bobs, but so it's... Notice it's got no splash.
Mm-hmm.
So
and has accuracy, so...
And it's got the accuracy of 100, so it's going to give a good wallop to somebody, basically.
I'm assuming it tracks your ship, right? If that's the case, like I said, I mean, every tier 5 but the Spite and are out of the game, and the Liberator's out of the game. That's why I agree with you. I think we'll be seeing ballistic plates coming out soon.
So if it's 5 salvos, is that going to be 5 salvos staggered across 12 seconds, or is it going to fire more less? Or?
Yeah, it fires them all out. Time t = 0, shoot 1, wait 2/10 of a second, shot 2, wait 2/10, shot 3, wait 2/10, shot 4, wait 2/10, shot 5. Then your reload timer starts.
Yeah,
and when your reload timer is done, you repeat.
Yeah,
and I guess a question a lot of people are going to be asking, so it's maybe a good one to bring up, is what would you guys remove from your base to build this turret? Where could you see
blunders?
Couple of blunders, yeah, I was thinking that as well.
Couple of Deadeyes, probably, considering they're getting less and less effective now, especially with pen plates.
Yeah,
-1 Deadeye, -1 blunder. Put 2.
I have 2 ballistas. I actually have 2 ballistas on my base, and they work. I'm certainly going to replace at least one of them with the Emancipator.
I might just be a dick and replace every single turret in my base with this, and just say, "Come at me."
Well, wouldn't Prides walk right in?
Yeah, but then I'd make my guard designed around corrosive.
Oh, okay.
But then again, there's a new ship. Yeah, but there's a new ship just come out, as we've just seen, that's got corrosive protection.
Yeah, but it's only out once they've won it, so shush. Let me have my moment.
Isn't there also a faction that boosts ballistic damage?
Oh yeah, I
yes,
mean
sir.
you can choose Draconian faction, and then you
Yeah.
get 20% bonus to all ballistic turrets.
Isn't that Forsaken?
That's
That's
yeah.
Forsaken, isn't it?
My apologies, Forsaken. You're right.
But you're right, there is one, yeah. So straight away, 20% on top of the baseline there, and then adding all the specials. Come on, Brian. I know you're doing it. In the background.
And the tactical fields, specials, you know, faction.
I mean, that's the thing is you got to guess, and I guess double because you've got 65% from that, and then 2 fire support fields and a third one or whatever. I'm just guessing double damage. So every because what really matters in a base hit is the damage per salvo.
Would you agree that it's going to get up to around what you can get a high up to? I think it's about that sort of damage.
Oh, it's going to more than
not
double.
per salvo. No.
Oh no, because it's split by 5, isn't it? Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking like 15k a salvo?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, about 15k, and then you have EM rails, or you should have EM rails 3, and that's plus 300%, right?
Yep.
Is that the one that gives a critical hit chance? No.
Yeah, crit chance of 25% and crit damage, I think, of plus 300%.
Plus 300. It says 4 times the damage, so that can actually hurt a pride.
Yeah, like legitimately hurt a pride.
So
yeah, because if you get a plus 300%, and you can manage to get like 15k times 4, no, it's still 60. It still wouldn't hurt a pride. No, never mind.
No, it's fine.
The more we're talking about it,
24k, 24k on a pride brings it down. Well, first turret defense halves it to 30. Then 24k brings it down to 6k, which is better than what you were doing before.
Yeah.
I might test this
But
myself.
I thought something like that was coming out when I saw the new crop of Conquerors coming with 90,000 ballistic deflection kind of thing. I'm like, they have something cooking, right?
The counter logic oppressor frontline strat here, 90k ballistic, come at me, bro.
Well, it enforces the rock, paper, scissors aspect into tier 6, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Oh, and by the way, on the new TLC now, this TLC here, oppressors would actually do pretty well because the bases are doing all corrosive and ballistic. You could just run in with oppressors and it would work.
I mean, that was the idea of these, is that the hull from the previous one is the best suited against the Conquerors in this one, and we found that definitely to be the case with, like, I ran one crappy Liberator through the one for the oppressors, and it came out just fine, no armor.
Nice.
Loretta just posted that to swap a Deadeye for the Emancipator is 7 days, 21 hours and 21 minutes.
Okay,
Really?
that's doable.
Wow, that's fast.
I might do that and just test it with another alliance in my sector at the moment and just get them to come and hit me with a pride just to see what it's like.
And remember, we can use base parts and get it instantly done, right?
Yep.
Well, we can now.
I would like it would be cool if you could get one built, put it on the outside.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing. Yeah,
and then get someone just to bring a single pride in and actually test it.
You can do that for free with base parts anyway.
Yep.
It's only 7 days, so. And then maybe put some fire support around it as well, and see what you can stack it up to, and just have a play around for a little bit. I might have a look at that actually later in the week. Especially since it's bank holiday weekend as well. Yeah, might look at that. That'd be definitely. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how much you can get this thing up. With surround it. Especially as it's going to get mostly for most people. It's probably going to go in the center island, and most people have got fire support around them. At least 2 or 3 fire supports anyway. So.
Well, if it blocks everything but prides, then you can then counter prides in the guard, and it actually.
That's what you were saying. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's a nice thing for the Arsenal, and as you say in the rock paper scissors concept, it's the holes in a minute is good for that as well. But I think this turret is needed.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely think it's needed.
Right, should we move on? I'm just ignoring Rain on chat on purpose, so he's getting frustrated. Just Rainmaker on chat. That's all.
I'm just waiting for 9-9s to come in so I can time him out. I'm like legitimately sitting here waiting for it. So upset. He's not there.
Wow.
He's always here. I haven't timed him out yet. That's like my ritual. Every TFC show, time out 9.
That's I got pro for you last time, so.
Going for the campaign, by the way, guys. So far, I've seen that Spites, as you've said, are doing well, and so are Prides. But there has been a glitch, I think, in the the fourth run, I think it is, on run 1, the 4th encounter, which is one of the base ones, especially if you're using subs to try and take out some of the ships. There's been a couple of issues. I've seen a couple of videos go up and that sort of stuff, saying the Calamity's a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, to be honest, like you're saying though, oppressors will work well, won't it?
What's the glitch? Does it make it so you can't do it though, or what?
It's making it so that you're hitting it and the sub's not killing anything at all.
Right.
Gluttonies and that sort of stuff. So
It's probably related to the lens squares. It's related to the lens squares somehow.
I don't know, but you can go in with surface ships and still do it. So yeah, like you're saying, oppressors with a spite in front or something like that would be quite a good idea, or maybe a single pride or something. But it's definitely doable if you swap your ships around. Good. Anyway, turret. Move on, shall we? He says, "Where's the next slide?" Here we go then. So here's the new hull. It's a Forsaken hull, obviously. Like I said, it's limited to the fact that you can win it 5 times, but you don't just get the single blueprint and then build as many as you want.
I have a theory about this.
Yeah, go on then.
Overpowered spade. That is my theory on this ship.
Doesn't
Wait,
it
it
look
has
like
countermeasure buffs?
Doesn't it look like a grey battleship?
Doesn't it look like they're not taking as much care on the design of their blueprints anymore?
It just looks very much like a draconian hull.
No, I still think it looks good, but it's definitely an overpowered spade.
And did you not
I think
find
that structure of the size of the bridge, they took that from the Zealous. The Zealous has a whole bunch of those.
It's got a wooden platform,
right?
Do
Yeah.
you know? I find the description one of the funniest I've ever seen for a hull.
Yes. Yes.
Penetrated plating thicker than hull gunboat strapped to the sides. That's quite a description. You know what I mean? I mean, the gunboat.
Tough as nails. I like whoever did that is like really technical.
I just like their English.
Kind of looks like a nail too, really. At the flat top, you got it driving down to a point there.
Yeah. Anyway, it's it looks like Pimp My Ship with a bit of decking on the side there, But anyway,
the before picture. Let's be honest.
I think let's talk about the stats. Forsaken, Conqueror.
Okay, so it's Forsaken. It's Conqueror. Obviously, it's a tier 6, so it should have tier 6 special slots, as everyone seems to have. It's got already built-in ship DPS and structure DPS, which is nice as well. It's got a really decent set of stats there for ballistic damage on the baseline. I think that's excellent. The range is 50%, which obviously marries things like cannoneers and that sort of stuff if you're talking PvE stuff. So you've got an idea in your mind already about the ranges that's available then for this ship. And you've got obviously built-in anti-mortar and anti-missile range, which is nice on a hull for a change as well. So that's pretty decent.
I like that extra wall damage as well.
Yeah, 50%. Yeah, so let's not talk OP10, but at least it helps, doesn't it? So ballistics does have a bit of a damage limitation normally with trying to cut through walls.
Reminder: level 9 walls have 175,000 armor.
Yeah, which is why they've probably done a 50% boost, isn't it?
And
they have high
75% ballistic resist.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I don't know, man. Built right with the right cannons that do splash, those walls will go like butter. We've seen it before.
Millennium cannon
starting at level 6.
Millenniums, and that sort of stuff. And there are some good cannons out there, I must admit.
And the one thing I was thinking as well, this is the one ship that actually can handle hits from hyenas. I mean, I know hyenas are mostly countermeasured and mostly missed, but when they hit, it hurts. And
so look at the defense
ship actually, this ship will reduce a hyena hit down to minimum damage.
You could almost run this one up front in front of your prides, because really, apart from, and what I like is obviously corrosive reflection this one gives as well. So in front of your prides, you've got 2 concerns. One is hyenas. If they do get a hit, even if you've got phallic forearm, they still make a mess. But corrosive also makes a mess of your pride as well, sort of stuff. With this a ship and a half in front, it's going to do a bit of a soak for you. And I think this could aid you at least to take out some of those annoying turrets that can damage your prize. Even if you lose one, you still have 3 to continue on.
And there's
no thing. Go ahead, Liam.
I was just going to say, like with what it's got built in terms of defenses. In terms of the anti-mortar, anti-missile stuff. There's no reason why you couldn't load this up with countermeasures and run it up front as a tank in front of prides.
Yeah,
exactly what I was planning.
Yeah, you could tank it up. You could tank it up definitely and do really, really well, and it will, because there are a couple of things missing in the defense stats, but like you say, you know, the fact that it's already got a built-in anti-accuracy, you know, the mortar accuracy, sorry, and then the missile anti-accuracies, and then obviously have the right specials. You're going to have a decent bit of equipment, I think.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, just my point is, like, I think having in any fleet using this ship, the Survivor, and a Pride as tanks, because before the main weakness of the Pride was only having 500 corrosive deflection alone. You had to team up 4 Prides to get 2,000 corrosive deflection. Now, if you team up 1 Pride in this ship, you already get 2,000 corrosive because of the special ability here. Right? So I think this one, the first thought I had is like, whoa, this guy and a Pride as tanks will be a very good dynamic duo.
With a few slots behind it.
Yeah, I just noticed that Corey just said the same thing. You know, it's another nice hull to put with the slots, isn't it? You know, there's another good option. You know, it's a soak, isn't it? And like Stu was just saying there, knock this thing into a tank, and yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, that's a huge amount of pen deflection, and that's without putting any particular, you know, plates on it and that sort of stuff. You know, you know, concussive deflection is nice because that's a first, really, to be honest. What I like about it is its base combat speed and turn speed. You haven't got to do much of that. Look at the turn speed, 58 before you even start. It's not even ranked, so you can just put a standard engine on it and don't have to worry about, you know, anything else. You know, it's going to be quite decent for that sort of stuff.
Well, it actually gets a lot faster, and it gets like monster level fast when you get the BT stacks.
Yeah.
Because
I saw your video today.
Speed.
Yeah, for those that haven't seen, you know, Ren's video he's put out today, he went through a short 10-minute video of Bloodthirst stacking and all the different types of the different ship formats and how they can stack and can't stack against each other and that sort of stuff. And that was a good explanation there, Ren. I quite like that one myself.
You could, yeah, and I can actually add Ren, I'll add your videos into the description of this show. So if anyone wants to check them out, they can just go onto the description and click the link. Yeah, I also, interestingly, with the combat speed and the turn speed being so high, you don't need, I didn't even spot that, you just said that, Mark, you don't need to put turn speed on it. You could run that, the special that gives you ballistic, it's a HB3 with engine, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can imagine putting a speed crew on this thing and then putting a fast...
Nuclear accelerator, that's the one we're talking.
Yeah,
with the right, you know, the right speed crews and that sort of stuff, this thing could run through the base. And like you say, oppressors now, because this thing's taking all their hits, stick them around the outside or sloth even, or whatever you want to do, and then just mortar the crap out of the base.
Magnus drive, ion thrusters.
Yeah, there's many things you can do, isn't there?
Let's do this. Let's go.
Do you know the first time I ever used my oppressors, and I was so relieved just to use them once, was in last week's TLC. That was the first time I've ever used them. Maybe the last as well. But,
well, I might use them in this week's TLC because I think they'll be quite good because most of it's ballistic, isn't it? So because it looks like a ballistic NCP to me. So yeah, and it's nice. The special abilities are there, like you said. You know, for each one in the duplicate caps set of 5 as it's pretty standard now, to be honest. And then there's those deflections as well for each one that's in there. So pretty decent, I have to say. Immune to cold snap effect, but obviously not the damage from cold snap. So just bear that in mind. It doesn't slow down, in other words, but you can still get damage. But looking at those base stats, you're generally okay anyway, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's on and go for it.
I have to say, you know, as much as we talk about, you know, too much content and controlling the flow of content, today's TLC there's some great content in today's TLC. It's one of the best releases I've seen in a while in terms of the TLCs as well. You know, the turret's fantastic, the ship's fantastic. You know.
Yeah, I think it's going to breathe a little bit of a new dynamic, and those that are really in that PvP side of the game, particularly, have now got something to think about. Stu, would you agree? If he's still there?
Yeah, man. No, I totally agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that it's not just all in terms of base attack. There's something there for base defense. You know, there's a bit of everything.
Yep.
More thought needed. Good.
Well, I think from now on, like, they need to just keep doing what they're doing with this. Like, you know, every time they bring out a new hull, they need to bring out a turret alongside it as well. Give everyone something.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Yeah. It's much better to go down that path than to bring out some sort of, super sick hull that's going to destroy everyone and there's no counter whatsoever. It's nice to have a turret that can fight back against that hull as well.
Yeah, I mean, think back 18 months. That was the problem 18 months ago, wasn't it? When we had the dire moments, at the end of 2015.
Well, it was coin whatever was brand spanking new, rolled every base and
you're the hero,
yeah.
or coin the new turret, and you were the hero, and you stopped every fleet for another month, sort of stuff. And it was just playing yin yang, weren't we? Month on, month off.
But now I think I like that we are at a point in the game where, the defense stands a lot more of a chance to adapt. I mean, all you have to do is actually play the game, either score base parts through the Scourge targets or through the traditional Draconian bases. They pay 65k base parts, or through daily campaigns. Those chests usually give you base parts.
Or buy them in the daily.
You can react, I mean, you can react real fast to a new conqueror. You can adapt, and the other aspect of these TLCs is the special and the turret come first. I mean, so more people will get that than will actually get the new conqueror.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the people that. Sorry, go on, Stu.
I'd say the only issue I have currently standing in the game is the length it takes to do the current chores. That's the only issue I have.
I think if the turret was like the end prize and the hull was like in the second or something, then that would have been a disaster. The fact that you pointed out there, and the fact that you can get the turret and the special in the first and second, it means that those that can't quite get the hull can still get something to defend their base with, which is just fantastic.
Exactly. And I noticed like how many people I think were pissed at the content overload and didn't do the end game TLC, and the end game TLC had the oppressor. But again, price packs 1 and 2 had an explosive turret that's a beast. I mean, that explosive turret deals massive damage. And I see very few people got it. Some people were like didn't even remember that turret anymore when I mentioned the other day.
So I'll say to you, Ren, now, until you mentioned it the other day, I forgot I even had that turret.
At least you had it.
I forgot I had it even.
I've got two in my base, 2 built.
I was going to say, every single turret that they've brought out recently has a use. You just need to find the correct use for it.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing that's been useless. I mean, if you want to go by hulls, then the only hull that I can find that is useless is the oppressor. Like, that is the only thing they brought out recently that I consider to be useless.
Yeah, I've not used it. I built 4 of them. Well, ironclads have their moments.
The oppressor is interesting because at first it is useless. But let's say you tank with a survivor or a liberator, and they are building up stacks on their bloodthirst, and so that means the oppressor shares the same rival BT, and the oppressor starts gaining stacks. I mean, did you see how much extra damage that thing does when it gains BT?
No, yeah, true, but I mean, you've got sloths now.
Well, no, it beats the sloth like hands down, because the main problem with the sloth, if you build it with torpid mortars and enervated blah blah blah, is that the shells take forever to hit.
Yeah,
in the
I don't
meantime,
like torpid mortars myself.
your tank may die. Right? The oppressor hits real hard, real fast, as long as you build BT. So again, I think it's about looking at the base. If the base allows you to build stacks, the oppressor becomes a beast to hit with.
Yeah, but most of the top air bases that you're going to be using these holes in because they are tier 6. They're not going to, what I mean? They're not going to put it easy for you,
Didn't someone once say, and I'm not sure who it was, but I'm sure that this came up a couple of months ago, that the 7 Sins series and the Rival series, right? One of them was meant to be a skill, control, dead sort of skill, got to do everything right. And the other one was meant to be kind of basic click and point, almost autopilot.
That was GDA said that.
Yeah, and this series, the Rivals, is the easier to drive. Right? So it's drive around, build BT, and then you have a hull that's a monster. I mean, on my little Bloodthirst video today, I showed how the Liberator at full stacks, 20 stacks, deals 4 times more damage per round than before he has BT. 4 times more. So, I mean, if you have 4 in your fleet, by the time you have 20 stacks, they're damaging like they're 16. No.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And that's why they're just virtually impossible to stop once they've got bloodthirst.
Yeah, not to
And the
mention
defense
that
stats go up.
their reload also increases by 80%. So it's literally a monster. But
Yeah.
like Stu said, the high-end bases, they're hard to build BT on because the players built them well. But you drive around, you find plenty of bases with resource generators around and other useless stuff. Then the rival series is great for that.
Mm. Yeah, but you were saying, like you say, pick your targets because unless you're a medal hunter, there are plenty of targets out there. You haven't got to go for the super top ones to go and get all your bits and bobs done.
Yeah.
Depends what you want in the game. I mean,
and as far as winning, like we're talking about how easy it is to win the turret and the special. Like I just posted the video for Price Pack 1. All you need are like 3 tight seekers well built. I mean, well built tight seekers can do all the encounters. Spites the one base battle, and Spites can also do the next one on Price Pack 2. And by the way, you're not limited to Conqueror, so I'm going to test something. I'm going to use a spy tank with Harlock Citadel and Citadels on the back end, just for fun.
Let's just go back because, that's interesting because just for a change, it didn't actually state that, did it? So looking here, there's a run 3 encounters, limited to it doesn't actually say, it doesn't actually say it has to be Conquerors, you're right.
No, I actually tried. I mean, on the base encounter, the number 4, I actually engaged by distraction. I engaged with my Tide Seekers. They went
That's something that a lot of people have moaned about recently. They've got like maybe 1 or 2 Spites laying around or a Retribution, but they don't really have anything to hit the base with. They maybe just got some half-assed finished tanks and that. Now you can run your Citadels in, just as Ren just said. Run a half
or your monoliths. I mean, exactly. Everyone should have like monoliths or Citadels or Imperiums right now. You can run them with 1 or 2 Conqueror tanks and get the job done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Liam found something funny there. Liam's smiling.
Just when you mentioned monoliths, I thought, oh god, it's just a sour word for me. But anyway.
But even those people going back to sits and that sort of stuff with Harlock sit and obviously all their standard setups, it brings them back into the game, which gives them a chance, which is nice.
And encounter number 6 is so easy because that base, actually, you can snipe all the frontline turrets from the rim. So you go from the rim with the spite and you can reach all the turrets. And if you have Citadels behind you, you can just vaporize them all.
I have never used my I remember TSM sent me a build about 4 months ago, Mark.
Or at least that now. Yeah.
And it was 2 free spites and 2 you love them as well. I can't remember what they're called.
Malice.
2 Malice, yeah. Maybe I can finally actually use this fleet.
The Malice is a cracking little. I mean, that Malice tank. Remember the Malice tank followed with 3, obviously 4 mort chuckers behind. That worked really well because the Malice is really good. It stands up quite reasonable to ballistic. Reasonable.
Yeah. From the tier 5, from the tier 5 Conquerors, I think is the best all-arounder when you build it right.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, definitely. Well, I had fun with it until obviously some of the top level stuff came in. So but interesting message in chat there from Lorido saying transition roadmap is in the forums. George, have a look.
There is actually something that's just been posted in the forums. Do you want me to read it out?
Yeah, or I can just stop sharing quickly, then you can share your screen if you want to.
I've got it up on my iPhone.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, go on.
Put your iPhone really close to the camera, like this. Just like some people take screenshots. Right?
Yeah, guys, zoom in.
There you go.
So I'll just read it out. CM Doom Rooster just posted this up. FM target transition roadmap. I did not pronounce any of that wrong for a change. Hello, pirates. Forsaken mission targets will be replaced as part of the target transition phase of the cycle starting tomorrow, May the 24th.
Yeah.
Ooh.
These are
This is the market.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe they're going to give us a mixture of both, maybe.
Yep.
I just read it. It says removed everything, replaced new.
These new targets are based on the Draconian research garrisons from the current Cold War event cycle. They will replace the current Draconian strongholds. To ease players into the new targets, we will be making these changes over a scheduled I'm not going to say that word.
Cadence.
This includes removing targets, replacing targets, and eventually integrating all new targets into the FM. These changes will coincide with the start of the Forsaken missions each week. The FM transition will take place over several weeks to allow players time and opportunity to build and improve their Tier 6 garrison fleets. High-level targets will be tuned for use with monoliths and icebreakers, with the intention that Citadel/Punisher fleets will be effective on lower-level targets as an opportunity, to earn the FM tech necessary to compete in the Forsaken missions at higher levels. Payouts per targets have not been adjusted. Here is a current rollout plan. Do you want me to give you the rollout plan?
Yeah, go on.
FM start date, well, it's kind of like a chart, right? But
okay, what we'll do is we'll upload that chart and I'll add it to the slides then. Okay.
I'll just read out the notes at the bottom.
Okay.
Below the chart. Notes, the new 109 replacement will not drop treasure chests.
Okay.
We will not be adding treasure chests to the new targets. You can still earn treasure chests via daily campaigns. We are still determining which of the new targets will have Blitz feature enabled. More news to come. So anyone that blitzes like me is screwed. The existing level 40 and 47 Draconian strongholds targets will remain stronghold targets, although their name and world map icon will be changed to match the Draconian research garrisons for conformity. Sorry. These will be considered part of the new set as the entry-level targets and will remain viable for Punisher fleets. Difficulty in these targets may be retuned as part of an attempt to even out the difficulty curve. And again, there is another chart and list of what you can do and use.
I don't doubt that George won't do a little article on that anyway and put it on the blog. I can imagine that coming.
So that is literally like, that was posted like 5 minutes ago. So that kind of just hit us in the middle of the show. So we don't have any slides prepared for that.
Go on, Brian.
I have multiple concerns. Concern the first. The high-level targets will be tuned for use with monoliths and icebreakers with the intention that Citadel Punisher fleets will be effective on lower-level targets. Okay. The Punisher Citadel used to be able to do the whole FM run-through twice a week with not that big of a problem. But apparently, as an opportunity to earn the FM tech necessary to compete in the FM at higher levels. So, we're going to be getting the Punisher and Citadel first. We also get the Judgment more and whatever else. But apparently we're supposed to earn better tech. Oh, I guess that means the mortar that's now in tier 4. Okay.
Yeah, there's a good mortar there. There is one.
Yeah,
there's kind of the best mortar in the game. That's
the step I can see, because they're gonna, if you're going in and you're getting Punishers and Citadels in tier 1 and 2, that's to help you go through. I kind of caught that part though and went, hey, if they're tuning the FM so that monoliths and icebreakers are to do it and Citadels should not be able to do it, does this mean that they're going to do the same for the raid coming up?
Well, I'm just a little confused as to what's happening tomorrow. I mean, isn't this transition meant to happen after the raid cycle ends? I mean, why are they becoming the new FM targets during the current cycle still?
Tomorrow.
Well, that's a good point, because the 112 gets pulled tomorrow, which we all knew the 112 was a new one that was, they were playing with them and gave out the chest, and I don't think anybody expected them to stay there forever. But 531 is 2 weeks before the raid. They're pulling the 109 and they're putting the 109 replacement in. And then they're removing the 102 on 6/7. So essentially, they're doing this 2 weeks early.
And they're taking out the top targets before a raid for,
I guess
tokens.
Well, I guess in some sense though that perhaps that is maybe not a bad thing. If then I've just had a chance to think and absorb that, because perhaps this is at least showing people what is to come in the FMs, and now they'll have a better idea of what they should at least aim for in the next raid.
Do you remember what happened last
time? They've taken away the 109 though. I have no issues with them introducing the new targets on 531, but they're taking away both the 112 and the 109. So if somebody is still working on their build and tweaking it, expecting it to be changing on the 15th or after the 15th of June, you've just essentially locked them out of the FM.
And I was just about to say, not everyone's in the same boat as me that can afford to throw a coin at it and say, okay, that's my fleet done, I'm okay for FM.
Yeah, we know.
Some people just aren't up to that part yet.
Ren, I have locked onto your screen as well, Ren, all right?
Do you just want to recap then, Ren, quickly, because it is quite important.
Okay, so can you all see my screen?
Yeah, you shared.
Okay, good. So here's the timeline. So
Oh,
tomorrow they remove the 112, period. Nothing else comes in. The 112 goes out. Then next week they remove the 109 forever, and there will be the new replacement for the 109. Then a week later, before raid, they replace the 102 with a new target. Then the week after raid, and remember the raid on the 15th is the last of this cycle. So after
It's a 6-day raid, yeah.
Yeah, after that they're going to introduce all the new targets, and then they give 2 weeks of the targets running in parallel, right? The mid-level targets running parallel, the new targets only the new ones, and then on July 5th they remove all the old targets forever. And here there's a table showing
what can and what can't.
It was, what it's going to be, and what's the recommended fleet and how many points. So people with citadels and generalists, Reed Empyreans and Zalos and whatnot, they expect these people to be able to do the new 61, 68, 87, and 88 targets.
That is a hell of a grind.
Yeah, so I mean, if you can do the 88 with citadels or Zalos and Empyreans, I mean, that's nearly 10 million points. So it's very good to reach tier 4. You know, you hit you 5 of those and you're done. And then 5 again and you're done the second time. But it's not realistic to consistently get to tier 5. So people who are just getting to tier 5 will probably be up in arms because they will need monoliths. But honestly, the monoliths with Zalos tank were doing really well. So maybe that's enough to do the 113. That's going to replace the 109.
I have serious, as an alliance leader, I have serious issues with this because we have been talking the talk, walking the walk, telling everybody that the new FM targets were going to change after the raid, and this is a complete 180 from that, and I don't understand why the need to pull it in early, and I can tell you I am going to have loads of really, really pissed off pirates.
I'm thinking the same thing for my alliance. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I like that they are doing that, like from the top to the bottom, like starting with the high-end targets, because usually the high-end targets are done by the high-end players and blah, blah, blah. They can adapt. I just really don't like that they're starting that before the last rated.
What happened to like just 50% of the 109s coming out showing a new one, you know?
Well, it's not even 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks plus the tokens in those 2 weeks. Plus
that's my other concern. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're looking at over a month's worth of build time that people essentially are going to lose because no tokens in the weekly now. No raid token. I mean,
I have a question. Will 99s still be able to do the FM? If you can't, I'm happy with the change.
Okay, I'm talking over you now.
I just want to say one thing.
He's on chat, Stu. You can ask him.
I just want to say one thing, right? With the way the content's been over the last couple of months, my monoliths are going to be refitting right up till the next raid. Then they should be done.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm refitting the new mortars now onto the monoliths, as well as
me too. Yeah.
a couple of charged armors that I picked up in the last raid to actually get them in a position where they could do the raid, right? And so if I need monoliths to now do FM, you know, my monoliths are refitting. Yeah.
Did we not
and
just
the same for icebreaker owners, they're all refitting the new rockets in. People are not having those fleets available this week and next should do FM.
And not to mention, we have to trust Kixeye knowing what fleets are good for where, because they sold us the icebreaker so hard in the first raid of this cycle, and that didn't work out. Yeah. So who's to say the people that make the game know how the game should be played, which is a very dumb sentence to say, but it's very accurate in this case.
Well, the other thing is we're getting new targets that we've not been able to test. So what happens if the targets are broken? And I'm sorry, I'm getting on my soapbox. Did we not just spend weeks complaining about lack of transparency and communication? I mean, this gets thrown on us the night before the damn change takes place.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that should be, again, they should say that today, post that today, but the first date here should not be tomorrow, should be the week after the raid. That's my main thing. The one thing that should change in this whole post is the first date here should be the week after raid. Sorry, Leon, I'll shut up.
Or do it like they used to, where they would actually have both targets concurrently.
Yep, that's my point.
For me, the bottom line is if they hadn't made so many mistakes with the monolith and the changes to it, then this wouldn't be a problem. But because the last couple of months have been so hazy, I think honestly they shouldn't be considering this right now.
Within the last few weeks, they've added 40 days to the time needed to build and refit a fleet, assuming you got it right in the first place. And all of a sudden, you know, everything is changing. The 109 is getting a replacement now. What's that going to be based off of? We don't know. What if it's like the S target? The only other analog we have is something that got replaced by an S-style target in a TLC that we didn't have time to prepare for. And this is the FM.
Can I ask a question? I have a legit question here that I would like answered. They changed a mechanic 2 days before the raid, and then this is
and
what,
the week before
24 hours?
And the week before that.
Well, yeah, but that was like a week before the raid. I'm saying like that we had 2 days notice for that mechanic change before the raid, and then this is getting dropped on us 24 hours before they do it. Is it really that difficult to give us a little bit more like lead in?
Well, I can say one thing.
Okay.
I won't be coining my monoliths to get them right. So I will be doing Forsaken missions, or at least attempting to do it the slow way by hitting the lower level targets that they haven't changed with my citadels. That's going to be my only option for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be very frustrating, I think. I mean, I think we elaborated the point enough, but it's funny how it's very much like Kickside to give us a good update with a good new TLC, a good new hull, a good new turret, and then right after drop a bomb, eh?
In the middle of the show.
The way he says,
it goes against so many underlying Canadian. No, this goes against so many underlying design philosophies that they've held over the past few months. We're supposed to have completed the raid cycle before we change the targets, but that's not true anymore. We're supposed to have faith in the raid tech, but that's not true anymore. They've given us direct upgrades in the FM.
How many times have we told people on the page, and how many times has it been posted on the forum? This is just, I'm shocked actually, because, you know, if they had put it in there and done the double and said starting the week after the raid, I'd have been fine with it. But this just does not make sense, and this is really going to hurt a lot of people.
Let's just hope that the targets are fair, easy, and just. Like, that's all I can say. Because if they're not, wow.
No,
they have no faith at all.
Well, we haven't even said it in chat. Nobody's seen the targets.
They cannot be doing raid level damage without having.
Well, obviously, because it's so hard prepared one, right? So,
We're almost done, and
you
they
might
haven't
think
gotten this
that,
raid
Rand,
right.
but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, in order for them to lock out the Citadel, you know, it's going to have to be something.
Okay, all right. Let's just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, let's. We have. I guess we've expressed the point, and I guess we'll end the topic there, and I guess we'll maybe go into it more on Saturday. But I would like to say to any Kickstarter watching, I mean, this is something that we did talk about for 20 minutes, 30 minutes on Saturday as well, and it's something we do talk about very often on the show. Is communication with the players, and giving us a heads up on stuff that's going on. And you know, as much as I'm sure the transition may not be as painful as maybe we all seem a bit shocked about just now, maybe it will be. But you know, give us a notice, guys. I mean, it's not even 22 hours, less than that now until you're doing this, and you just dropped it on us like that. I mean, that's not great, guys. We're meant to be your loyal players. We pay your wages, and you guys should at least let us know what's going on in the game. But on that note, let's jump to the next topic.
Yep. So let's go back to the slides if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I'm locked on something.
Okay, let me just bring them back up so we know where we are. Okay, so so we got through that hole there, and we've had the bombshell about the FM update. Okay, right. So the Hyperion Rising TLC is back again. There is no change to the previous one, but obviously, just in case you didn't do the previous one or you couldn't do the previous one, it's now been squished into 3 runs. Okay, then they're the timelines there. Get 3 hours, a 1 hour, and then a 1 hour. It is a little bit more difficult and that sort of stuff, but Most people really should understand what's expected of them. And as it says there you go. There's the price packs 1, 2, and 3. Please note that obviously, when some of the build tokens come in, it's the initial build, okay, of the module, and obviously you can't use it for upgrading. So just bear that in mind. Some of them don't make it sound as clear. That sounds quite normal for Kixie, but it's not quite as clear and as obvious when you start to do your upgrades. You think, oh, I've got tokens, I can use them. No, you can't. It's the initial module build, okay. But there are some good prizes still and that sort of stuff, and it will get you into a good position. But there's nothing new there. It's basically just squished down into three runs. That's that. Stu's little bit. Go on, buddy.
Fixed an issue where targets had their health reset after combat. Yeah, that was pretty annoying.
Yes.
Fixed an issue where in rare occurrences, the Gluttony would award negative VXP to other ships in the fleet. This issue only occurred when the healed ship finished combat with more health than when it started combat.
I find this one so hilarious.
That's comical, isn't
That's just brilliant. I like it. I want them to keep it in the game just so I can say, hey, look, I'm not going for skull rank. I'm going for minus skull rank.
It's just nuts.
A low percent run.
Me and Ren were having a talk about this, actually, weren't we, earlier, Ren? I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
See, now they need to bring this into the game.
Formula.
But this is what they need to do, right? They need to make the Gluttony so that you can get minus VXP, and it caps at minus 75%. So every time you heal your ship, you get minus VXP.
And you have to
fire 75.
You have to go rank it again before using it.
Exactly.
Well, that's me all the time anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, please don't put that in, Kickside. Please.
No, that's how they get you to coin more on VXP weekend. You're at negative 75%. You're like, why are these ships so bad, though?
just a quick thought, and that's the end of the slides and that sort of stuff. So I just wanted to finish them off. So, yes, if you're going to blow up, please don't blow up too much on our page. If it's going to bring people are going to, obviously, that haven't watched this show and don't know what's coming. They're going to be absolutely broadsided tomorrow when we rerun the FM and that sort of stuff. Sorry, when Kixie rerun the FM. Almost sounds like I work for them. I didn't say that at all.
Tomorrow's is fine. Tomorrow's is fine.
People are going to go mental, but we'll try and congeal it into one big long Robin's favorite, one big long rant, so everything's congealed into one on our page. People that start multiple threads and that sort of stuff, I'll just delete them, and so will Ren, and so everybody else. But if you want to rant, do it on the Kixeye forum, please.
Just to point to that, for the folks that are on the show, there are a lot of people that are going to log on sometime tomorrow and just start that FM and have no idea what's going on. So for those of you that are listening, take the time to at least go out to the website, grab to the forum, grab that link, post it on your Alliance pages, send it to any chats that you have, and get the word out, because there are going to be people tomorrow that are going to have no idea that this is happening.
Tomorrow is okay.
I mean, sorry for interrupting, but tomorrow, the only thing tomorrow is 112s will not spawn anymore. That's it.
But that's affecting a lot of people doing 112s with just basic citadels, and they're now in the tier 5 area that they've never been before. And they're not going to be able to do that. And that's going to knock them back, and they're going to think they're going backwards in the game very quickly.
Because they are.
Yeah, next week's when the real problem starts, because next week the 109s are gone and the replacement kicks in. That's, if I read that right, then they're going to see a lot of noise.
Well, the other thing too is that this week I think we're getting tokens. So if someone needs to do some changes, refits or what have you, they might want to focus those tokens on those types of changes as opposed to finishing off a sloth or something like that.
This week we get 1 token on the second rotation of tier 4. Both tier 5s are taken up by the gluttony prizes.
Well, right? I think it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks of Battle Pirates, but I don't think it can get any more interesting than the last 2 months we've had.
Why jinx it? Why?
It's rare that we get information in the middle of a show like this. Normally we have time to sit down and talk about it, process it, So I guess it was interesting to see how that unfolded mid-show. But
it was a live reaction.
We all had to not swear. That was terrible.
Liam, I know you waited your whole life to say that. Breaking news.
News just in. Kixeye are going to do dry dock. No, I wish one day I could say that. I wish.
I know why they're not doing State of the Game now is because they've completely lost the plot, have no idea what they're doing, and backtrack on their own design philosophies from a few months ago, if that. So
Well,
okay.
I as much as I dislike their decision, I guess we'll wait and see. You know, I know.
Just Spoke or George?
72 hours to go, and then it will be Friday.
Well, guys, it's been an interesting one. I mean, have we got anything more to add into the mix there, or?
I hate the bass part.
Stu hates Stu. Stu, don't you hit everything?
No. I love. No, I hate it all.
I was waiting for "No, I love your mom" or something to come out of his mouth.
I thought about it, but then I thought no, because then Mark will tell me off later, and I can't be asked.
So I gotta say something. I'm gonna be mean here, okay? I just saw a page. So there's a guy who shall remain unnamed, and he just posted a picture of his computer screen, not a screenshot, a picture of his screen, with the Survivor Limited blueprint that he won. Right? So he won the Survivor. He cannot take a screenshot, takes pictures, and then he asks, "What is this hole for, and should I build it?" So why the heck did you do the campaign so fast? Right? If you don't know what it's for and if you should build it.
Yeah, just letting you know.
It's just beyond me. I mean, that kind of thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. But just letting you know, the reason you hired me is so I can put potato memes on people that take pictures with their phone of their computer screen. Like, that's the only job I have here. So thank you.
I'm pretty sure we could outsource that.
The worst.
Pretty sure we could outsource that.
So Stu, go hit that guy with a kettle prod.
I've already done it. Way ahead of you.
I've seen people actually film bass hits off their phone and then post it up and say, "See my bass hit."
Don't.
Oh no!
And you know, I think it's something about Scotland that brings people like that, because the guy who wrote the post I'm talking about posted from Edinburgh.
That's the posh side of Scotland, though.
Red is so fired.
Ren. Just when I thought we were finally clicking.
Well, it could be worse.
Well, actually, I think Ren, you
two.
need to put your T-shirt up to the camera so the folks in the
I
audience.
do love Ren's T-shirt. Actually.
That is the best T-shirt.
Yeah, that should basically be Kickside customer support T-shirt.
For those who couldn't see it, the shirt reads, "I am not your personal help desk," and it's amazing.
Okay,
yeah,
guys.
my wife started complaining about some issues on her Mac, so I just wore the T-shirt.
Nice, I do like it. Well, guys, on that note, I guess we're going to end the show there. It's been an interesting one. Let's see how the week unfolds. I can imagine it's going to be eventful, and we'll see you on Saturday's show for the open mic. So for anyone in the community that wants to join us and maybe have their say on current affairs in BP, then please come on, because we don't get enough people coming on to state their opinions.
Can we call it salt levels higher than the Dead Sea?
I was gonna say, if you could just get that meme of the guy in shade just sprinkling the salt and make that the thumbnail for that open mic.
Brian gets me. This is why I like Brian.
Just for 1 week, guys. Just for 1 week, I would love Stu not only to name the show, but to host it. Yeah.
Done. I don't think we can put that name in a show title. We can't put
5,000 viewers. Done.
Saturday,
you got to stay awake.
Yeah, that's the problem.
This Saturday, you've heard it here live. Stu is going to host and run the open mic.
Yep, I'll do it.
I'm going into a bunker.
I will literally spend an hour just bashing George and Nines. Come on, everyone come and join.
I'm going to be sat in the corner with the beeper, just beeping every swear word, every, you know.
Your thumb isn't fast enough.
Well, you know, I could be using my fat hand. So.
That thumb is not fast enough either. I was under the impression you'd have to hold it down.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Before we descend into madness, then, guys. So we will see you Saturday for Stu's open mic. Thanks everyone for coming out this evening, and thank you to the lovely admins who have been on the show tonight. Take care, everyone.
Bye,
everyone.